bishop onto the diagonal. Not sure. Not enough time to think here. All right, let's just put the bishop in the middle, and I think this will work out for us. Expecting to take. All right, bishop out. Let's go ahead and castle, get to safety. Just waiting for the opponent to show their cards. I think they got a castle coming in next. We could prevent that idea of castling with the queen, so let's see if that works out. Okay, I wasn't even trying to strike that, but that's convenient. Should we push forward now? Should we push forward? Let's take in the middle, opening up the king. All right. Now I'm wondering, get a rook to the center or attack the bishop this way. Could attack the bishop all the same. 90 seconds, 90 seconds, gotta move. All right, what's the idea here? Get a rook to the open file. That's a very principled move. This should work out. Oh, rook to the open file. All right. The knight comes out. So maybe the king will get a castle after all. It looks like retreating the piece is the best idea. All right, let's just drop back, keep pressure on the pawn. Prevent the knight from easily hopping into b4. Why not? All right, king castles. We could take the knight, pin the knight, pin it to win it. Pin it to win it. Does this work? We'll find out. It's really hard to say. Oh, it does not work. Actually, the queen defends. That would have been a major blunder. Takes, rook takes, lose the rook at the end of that. That's a material imbalance there. Oh, we could take the pawn and add the triple attack. How about this one? Now we got the triple going. Could this be good for us? We got a health pack. Opponent gave us the health pack on that one. And it comes with a bonus little strike on the rook if ever this were to move or be pinned. For example, if we were to take and the rook takes, we could take here. Let's go for it because it also hits the knight. All right. 40 seconds left. 40 seconds left. Ah, opponent was too clever. Opponent was too clever to fall for our shenanigans. Let's bring the knight in. At least we can put a strike on this square.
Interesting.
All right, what's this all about? Doesn't the knight just come in here and put the double attack? Ah, we lose the bishop. We lose the bishop. What do we do here? Just retreat. Just retreat. There's still time. There's still time. It's not over. I can hear the train coming. 18 seconds. 18 seconds. We got to run to the station here. We got to run to the station. We got a chance. All right. Start attacking the king. We have to get our rook involved. He's looking to trade the rooks, eh? So be it. So be it. Oh, I get checkmated in that scenario. Thank goodness we saw that one. What is this? Oof. All right, we got to move quick. We got to move quick. Hit the pawn. 1.7 seconds. Move up. We got to pre-move out. Oh, no, no, no. That pre-move didn't take. Ah, we lost it. We lost it. Opponent was better. Opponent was too solid. Well, we gave it our all. All right. Let's see what happened there. What went wrong there? Actually, this is dead even game. Dead even game. Can't even be mad. We had a better position. Opponent had the dead draw. They could have had the perpetual if they wanted it.
Major fracture detected.
We were actually up +3 in this position. And almost ended up with the checkmate. Almost ended up with the checkmate. But we stopped it. Luckily, we were able to move this pawn and preserve the loss. All right. All right. Let's get some tunes. How about a little tunes and we'll run another match. I'm feeling good about that. That was close. We had a good position. Nothing to be ashamed about there. Oh, yeah. There we go. There we go. All right. 1b3 action. A little Nimzovich Larson. All right. Open up the bishop. Attack the middle. Let's bring the knights out. All right. Knight's probably trying to hop in here to put pressure on the c2 square, so let's move a3, so that way knight doesn't have that b4 maneuver any longer. And then should we attack the knight? Yes, we should. If it moves forward to a5, we'll hit with the pin. Goes to the center. Double knight. They don't quite have connect 4, so I'm not that worried. All right. Should we advance the pawn? No, let's get the knight in the center. Attack the bishop. He doesn't want to retake with the pawn. It'd be bad to retake with the pawn. It would leave the king exposed. All right, so retreat. Strike the knight. Let's strike the knight. Let's get the knight to move. Oh, ironic. I didn't think we had such a weak square here in the center. The knight's attacking it, so we have to be careful. Let's just defend it. Queen probably doesn't belong on e2, but we got to defend this stuff here.
I am not at all sure.
All right. Attacking the pawn. Let's attack the knight. If he takes, we take. If he takes again with the rook, then we lose the queen. So we're going to lose the queen. Let's take the pawn first. Get the bishop out.
Major fracture detected.
How do we defend this bishop and castle in the same move? I don't think that's possible. We can slide the king over, though. Oh, goodness. Can we hit this pawn? Can we take? Oh, comes in with the smooth check. The smooth check. So we have to go forward, but then he takes with the bishop. So probably allow the queen take in the hopes that we can get this rook. No, we can't get that rook. All right. I suppose this way. What do we lose? The knight or the rook? Oh, the bishop is what we lost at the end of this. Who saw that coming? Who saw that? We lost the bishop at the end of that one. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. Do we have a type of weird checkmate? No, we don't. Takes and the bishop moves back, or takes king and we come in here. I suppose this maneuver, get the bishop tied up, then save our bishop. Better than nothing. We push on. All right, hey, let's move in. Let's move into this real estate. We got all this territory ripe for moving in. All right. How do we get the king and the bishop is the question. Oh, queen checkmate potentially here? Please no. It was the checkmate was here in the corner. Got to give it to the opponent. They got us. Opponent bested us. What happened there? What happened? Alright, so we did our Nimzovich-Larsen shenanigans. Computer's fine with this. Alright, we're dead even. Continue our plan. We're fine here. No worries. No worries. Knights on D2 and E2 is kind of common, especially when you can get these pawns on D and C4. It almost just feels like it makes sense. And we continue our pawn push here. And, oh, well, don't look at that. Don't look at that. All right, so we continue the pawn push. He gets the double knight. It almost looks like connect 3. He doesn't quite get the connect 4, so nothing to worry about yet, so one would think. Dead even here, retreats the bishop. All right, so let's attack. This is probably the mistake we made here. We went a little ambitious trying to attack the knight, and then we attempted, so we have to defend the pawn now because we gave this knight move and a little initiative. And now at the end of this, the queen is being stared at by the rook. So we're going to watch this little sequence unfold, and we lose the queen. What can you do there? What can you do there? So we fight on, and opponent just puts on a clinic, absolute clinic. How can you defend against this? How can you defend against this? You can't. Gotta appreciate 894 rated. You can't mess around with these 900s. You cannot mess around with these 900s. Alright, and then we're like, oh, maybe the king can get some real estate. It can't. It's a pipe dream. It was never going to happen. But nonetheless, here we are. And who had H4 on their bingo card for the checkmate? I was thinking checkmate was on this square, but I suppose it's not a checkmate. The checkmate was on H4. Well done by the opponent. Alright, hate to see it. Let's try once again. I think as long as we don't blunder a single time, I think we have a chance to win. Go for a little Sicilian. Should be harder to blunder in this one. C4, extremely crucial if you're ever playing the Sicilian. When they go D4, you take that pawn. That's the whole purpose of going C4. You're going to have a bad time if you don't take this pawn. All right, so now we usually allow them to retake with the pawn. The question is, do we want to move the knight out, get to some tomfoolery, or just move the pawn so that way when we move the knight out and the pawn push comes, we can retake. All right, so double defend the knight. It's being double attacked by a knight and a bishop. Double defend. The bishop is most likely better. And then we're going to keep on with the pawn. Get the knight out. Simple stuff. Attack the center. And actually, a lot of times, I can almost guarantee you that e6 is better. But I think I prefer this move, and I've heard it said sometimes they don't have the light square bishop with the check. Then it's okay to do e5. But yeah, usually e6 in this type of an opening is what is better. Alright, let's defend the knight. Attack the bishop. We gotta get our time back. March the pawns. Probably gonna keep our king in the center here. We don't have any light square concerns. That would have been a blunder to move the knight here. Free the queen. Let's free our queen. Should we take the pawn with a threat on the knight? Allowing the rook capture. Let's just move the rook first. Alright, we're cruising. We're smooth sailing. A Gulkin? A Gulkin is a very principled player. They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. Alright, should we move our pawn? A6 is very thematic in this opening. We're still pretty much in the opening. We're basically in the middle game, but I still feel like we're a little bit in the opening because we haven't castled. Our rooks aren't connected.
Interesting.
So, should we castle, connect our rooks, hop the pawn up, and the queen checks? Let's hop the pawn up and hope that the opponent doesn't see our knight is covering this square. And we'll see after the game if that was a good move. I don't think that's a bad move because usually the king wants to stay in the center and we connected our rooks with that move. We can continue our pawn push. So let's retreat the queen, and maybe we will reroute the queen in to help these pawns. That was probably too far, actually. That was probably too extreme to go back so far. But here we are nonetheless. We're going to follow on with the pawn push. Attack the bishop. We blow it all open on the square. Yes, of course. Ah. Now we have to figure out how to get to this F3 square, so gonna have to do some maneuvering. Alright, what is our weakness? Where's our weakness? The rook is looking at the pawn, so this surely isn't good. Probably should move our king and avoid this fork shenanigans. Alright, can we aggress onto this king here? Move the knight in, pawn takes. Let's go this direction, so we defend. We're going to move the king, but I also have an idea to move my knight in. And I hope he takes. Actually, that's a terrible move. No, we shouldn't rely upon that. Don't rely upon that.
Access denied.
It's a bad move. Oh! Oh! Queen blunder. This can't be good. 30 seconds left. 30 seconds left. Okay. Oh, this can't be good. This cannot be good. Maybe a checkmate. Maybe a checkmate coming. We got 24 seconds. We need our opponent to fall asleep at the wheel. All right. How do we get a stalemate in this scenario? Couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you. If they move the rook, we still lose. But I'm assuming this is checkmate. Maybe checkmate. All right. This way works as well. All right. Good on the opponent. Good on the opponent. Too many mistakes. Too many mistakes. It didn't even seem like we made a mistake. Let's see what went wrong. Let us see where we erred. Still pretty solid. So we did the Sicilian, sharp opening, so one would think. All right. Standard stuff. This is what we expected. The double attack on the knight. So we expected this. Yeah, the pawn here I think is worse. Actually, no, it's just fine. Just fine. Either move, just fine. Opponent castled, and this is. You look like, oh, they're more developed than us. They're castled, and they have got the semi-open file, and we have all these pieces in the corner. Well, that's kind of true, but likewise, they do as well. That's that 800, 900 elo chess, and nobody's got any pieces. You just trade them all off, and it's like, let's redevelop. It's like a double opening phase of the game. All right, so then the knights come out, and then the bishop attacks, so we have to defend with the bishop. Very, very classic stuff here. Bishop moves back, so the question is it a good move to attack the bishop? And the answer is yes, it's just fine. So we're just fine here. Typical 800, 900 Blitz Elo stuff. All right. And this is where we erred. Moving the king in front of the rook. Yeah, it was just castling here. Castling here much safer. They might have grinded us down because we're just grinding us right now. But definitely the move was not to move a king in front of the rook and to give up castling rights. Future reference, castling's fine here. Alright, so anyways, we moved forward. The opponent took the initiative by attacking our queen, and then again we moved too far back. I think we needed to move to this square. Neither is good, according to the computer. It's just a losing position. I mean, what do you do here? Let's just carry on. We've already blundered. And so we say, all right, let's rip up the king. Let's see if we can open up the king, get some kind of pieces, swinging out, something. Let's make something happen, Captain. So we swing the queen around. This idea doesn't work unless he moves the queen. And so we go for it. Pawn takes, bishop takes, knight check. Classy maneuver. And we blundered the queen. And this is pretty much positions on life support, 30 seconds, got to make a move. Queen attacks, pushes us into the corner, and just classy ending by the opponent, just checkmate. And I was thinking in my head, maybe queen here, although queen this way, and then rook. Either way, you lose. Checkmate, see you later. All right, not a bad game. You see what we did wrong here? Let's do another one. Feeling confident. We're building confidence here. Feeling better about these positions. All right, so ooh, what is this? Usually I might expect a 1b3 in Nimsvich Larson, but a 1g3. This is new to me. This is new to me. Do we play a Dutch? Yes. Could take with pawn. Taking with pawn is worse, but at this level it's more protected. All right, so the queen's trying to come in. Let's just move the bishop back, protect this square and castle. Actually, let's restrict the knight from moving in and blunt the bishop. Knight could come in. All right, e5. Are we worried about knight coming into e5? Let's just take a health pack here and we'll move in. Knight's coming into e5. That knight is coming into e5. We're going to defend it with a knight. Castle, and I'm expecting a big knight e5. Ooh. Ooh. Classy move by the opponent. But how about a call on b6 to stop the knight from coming into c5 here? Where does the bishop want to go? It's got to go somewhere. Let's just get the bishop out. Let's get the bishop out. All right. Knight's coming in. Let's blow up in the center. Oh. Knight hit us with the fork. Very nice. Failed to see that one. But we're going to try to catch back up on time. We're down a minute. So we're going to get the light square triangle. Light square triangle with the connect 4, the double connect 4 into the light square triangle. This has to be good. This has to be good.
Interesting.
Yeah, surely. How could this be bad? All right, so the queen's coming in. We don't want to affect our connect 4. We don't want to affect the connect 4, only to reroute the bishop to a better square. So let's move a knight in.
Don't shoot! I'm...
All right. Where does the queen want to come into? Trying to blow up in the position as well. Should we prepare by striking the knight? Yes, let's do it. He's going to threaten our connect 4 is the issue. Our connect 4 is threatened, so we have to be very careful. Bringing the knight in. Let's just take. Let's just take. We're too far in now. Let's connect 4. We want to preserve it, but I'm not sure how. All right, I can move the rook. We can retake with knight, and we'll have the connect 4, the double connect 4. No, we're gonna take. We're gonna take because we're too threatened. We're too threatened. We can't preserve the connect 4. We're gonna lose it. All right. We're calming that. We're making sure this knight can't jump into too many squares here. Our bishop is doing absolutely nothing. Let's push the pawn, get a little bit of space. We're very worried about this d pawn rolling. How do we? Let's attack the queen and get the tempo. Ooh, double fork. Okay, we got him back. We got him back for the fork they did earlier. Had to pick it up. Could attack the rook is the only issue, but we get the queen. Oh, classy move by the opponent. Classy move by the opponent. They saved the queen.
Access denied.
Didn't even think it was possible, yet here we are. All right. How do we... We're running out of time, and this pawn falls. Oh, goodness. I can feel the trumpets. I can hear the trumpets coming for us. Their king is just so well protected. How do we get to this king?
Access denied.
The king has the access denial. Well, save the queen. We're going to need the queen for this battle to come. All right, looking at taking this d pawn. Oh, all right, we lost. Well, let's retreat the bishop. Let's keep everything tight. Oh, no! No! All right. Our only hope is to get a queen.
Bruh.
And we lost. All right, so we're going to take that to the bank. We're going to take that L to the bank. What even happened there? What even happened there? Let's do a little brief analysis. It felt like we were cruising, but we were cruising for a bruising.
Major fracture detected.
All right. So we start nice and calm. Do a little Dutch. We weren't sure what they were doing with this 1G3 business. If I saw the 1B3, I'd say, oh, that's the Nimzovich Larson. But the 1G3, I couldn't even tell you what that's called. All right. So, anyways, they trade off all the pieces. Very common at this level to immediately trade a piece, and then you have to redevelop everything again. So we retreated the bishop, and that was just fine. I mean, we went from a negative 0.2 to a positive 0.2. I don't think that's going to seal the game by any means. All right, we have the middle, and we're very close. We're looking to get the connect 8. So we cruise. We cruise on with the plan. The double connect 4 this way, connect 4 on the light square the other way for the connect 8. And we had to move the pawn up here because we were scared of some knight shenanigans, but we replaced it with the bishop, and then the rook is still at the end of the connect 4 chain. We're good here. So we push our pawn, and the engine does not like it. The engine says, don't be trying to connect 4 over here. But the opponent moves the knight in and forks us. Basically a draw at this point, plus 0.5 according to the fish. And we get it. We got it. All right. So we carry on. Knight has to move in, start maneuvering our pieces around. And yeah, we shouldn't have moved the pawn. The pawn was not the move. Probably have to move a piece here. Maybe even just attack the queen. That's much better than what we did. Attacking the queen is minus 0.3 as opposed to minus 0.2, which the position's at. You don't retake. So engine does not want you to retake. I just don't understand how we're supposed to get a threat going here. Oh, so we moved the knight in, but I don't understand. Where's it going if it gets attacked? Where's the knight going? I was thinking the rook take and then we can pin it using the bishop, but that does not work. I don't get, where does the knight go? We're under threat. Oh, we attack the queen? Clever! So we're supposed to attack the queen here, and it's trapped. Where's that queen going? I'll wait. Can't go here, can't go here, can't go to any of the dark squares. The best you could do is take the bishop. That's not going to do it. All right, so we missed this insane tactic. We moved the pawn. We were supposed to move the knight with the idea if we got attacked to attack the queen. Wow. All right, didn't see that on the board. Instead, we fell into this losing position. It felt like everything just crumbled. Moving this pawn caused everything to crumble. We lost our connect 4. And I think that was the beginning of the end. It was the beginning of the end once the connect 4 was threatened. We weren't sure how to deal with it. And we dealt with it incorrectly. So we got the knight and we said, okay, we got to connect 3, but no, this not to be. Actually, no, they gave up the advantage here with moving the rook. Again, is it something like move the knight, the same plan from earlier? No. Oh yeah, that's what we found though. This is what we found in the game. So we had the advantage at this point. And then the bishop was the incorrect maneuver. Why was the bishop wrong? It was a dead draw if we traded queens, which they offered kindly. But what were we supposed to do to preserve this advantage here? The bishop out? I'm trying to see, is the queen trapped? Because they always trade for the queen at the end of the day. They just trade for the queen. No, it's not so simple actually. If I move the bishop here, we actually still have the advantage. It's not as much. I could see that happening in the game.
I am not at all sure.
All right, so they attack our queen. We retreat, consolidate the bishop, and then we make a major blunder here. Moving the bishop, allowing our queen to be taking. And it's pretty much game over. Pretty much game over. We lose by timeout. See you later. See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. All right. Let's try another. That was a great game. I felt like we put together a great showing. A great show, and I think a win is just around the corner here. It's hard to believe we're losing these games. All right, 1b3. Let's show you how to do a real 1b3. None of this 1g3 nonsense, because I don't know what that is. Let's get our bishop in. Very principled. They're taking the center. They're probably going to move the knights out next. Let's move our pawn. Prepare the bishop. Let's get our knight out. We attack the center. He'll take. Knight takes. I suppose we could take the center here. They didn't want the center. Curious what piece they'll take with the knight. Do we trade off all the bishops? No, thank you. All right, so they're trying to put a little threat. Let's just double defend, make sure everything's calm and collect. We're cooling. Retake with the knight, methinks. Ah, hit us with the check. Well, we'll have to block with the pawn, surely. And then I expect them to take with the knight. If they retreat the bishop, maybe attack it again. Maybe attack the bishop again? Let's just move the queen from its starting square, getting closer to castling and preparing if we move forward. Well, we could take with the knight, he takes with the queen, and then we would move the pawn forward, putting the threat with the bishop on the knight. Let's go for this one. No, it's pinned! Rookie mistake. Alright, we had the castle. Luckily we castled out of it. Alright, this is getting scary. The knight's coming in now. There's no check. Alright, so let's do our plan where we can attack the queen. Maybe we'll get a tempo here. And retake with the rook so we can put a threat on the bishop. Yeah, this looks pretty good. What is the idea? He wants to take our pawn. So if we were to take with the rook, we lose the pawn. The queen falls, or the rook falls with check. Do we get the knight in that case? Hard to say. Let's just move the rook and get out of these shenanigans. Gotta move. Gotta move. We gotta come up on some health. We have to come up on some health. So let's get the rook out as we planned. Double attack.
Interesting.
The knight, does it have any checks? Yes. Alright, we move away. Now there's no checks for the knight. Alright, where do we get our queen out to affect... Oh, here we go. Rook to e1. This looks pretty classy. Rook to e1 looks pretty classy. Rook e1, where's the check? He's got two checks. So the question is, do we defend him or move the king? How about we check, and then we'll take the knight while putting a threat on the queen. This looks classy. Oh, we lost our rook. Are you kidding me? All right. Carry on. All right, 40 seconds. 40 seconds. We cannot mess around. So I suppose we should just attack the rook. Putting a threat on the rook. This is checkmate. Now putting a threat on the bishop. The idea of coming down and coming around.
Interesting.
we have time? Do we have time for this? Queen's going to come and take... No, it can't take the bishop. All right, I think we have time. Is there a better move? No time. 24 seconds. Let's go. Let's go. 24 seconds.
Don't shoot! I'm with the science team!
All right, we can take this. How do we rotate the queen around, move the rook, and then... Oh! 20 seconds left and we blunder. All right. You hate to see it.
Emergency. User
We may lose here.
imminent.
We may lose here. We're going to get the king to the center. We're going to get the king to the center. Oh, whoa, what a classy move by the opponent. Is there even a way to block it? Is this winnable? Oh, the double. Double up on the bubble up. What is this guy doing? All right. King's hit. They got us. Lost on time. What happened? Yeah, I felt like we had a great game. We were making great moves. Blundered the queen. It felt like we were in a good position. So what was the moment of truth? What is that? Alright, yeah, so we were worried at this juncture of the game. And we said, no, we'll get the rook out. We'll have the double attack, the double strike. Surely this has to be good for us. Queen checks us, slide the king over. Common stuff. The knight comes in. Alright, we check and we tactic him. We tactic him. But it wasn't a tactic because queen takes rook check. We were supposed to take with the queen, so when the check happens, we have the space the queen was on prior.
Access denied.
But there's no access if we do that the other way. We have to block with the bishop or the queen and lose both pieces. But somehow they blunder back. They blunder back. And now we're in it. All right, but then we blunder back the blunder back. I was trying to figure out how to get back in the game. Maybe the bishop comes to this square, actually. I mean, how is this bad? The bishop comes... Oh, no, it's pinned. I think I forgot this bishop is pinned. And then we just slowly died. We just blundered the queen. 16 seconds left, and we get timed out here. I was expecting a checkmate. I was expecting to see a checkmate. Expecting the opponent to find a checkmate. If one existed. Maybe none existed. Yeah, mate, it's a mate in 3. Who sees the mate in 3? All right, mate in 3 for black. I surely don't see it. I would have guessed move the rook and then take. Move the rook and then where's the king go? Where's the king go? And here, then I would have taken it. Well, but that's mate in 5. All right, and then we time out and we lose. All right, let's go one more. I think we can win this one. I got a good feeling about this one. B3. Let's do it in 1B3. Classy opening. We'll get everything to the center. Ah, it pushes forward. Don't see this every day. Let's just take towards the center, get rid of a central pawn. Okay, it goes forward again. We could trade a central pawn for a central pawn, but much more principled. Get a knight out. They could push. I'm not expecting a push, but they could. All right. Let's just rotate the knight. And let's attack the central pawn. Maybe we can get both the central pawns out of here. Castle and begin our attack. That'd be pretty quick, huh? All right. Where's that knight going? Where is that knight going? Let's just stop the knight from coming into any weird squares. We'll develop in castle. Block this with a pawn. They may retreat back. All right. Our pieces don't feel very harmonious. Let's get the queen out. We could castle with a battery, but knight is more principled and threatens the castle either way. All right, let's get the knight out and castle. I was just calculating, is there somewhere the knight could go? Because this is kind of awkward to have 3 pieces in a row on this file. You don't see that every day. Is that a mistake? All right, let's castle. And now we have 4. Wait, did we just make it worse? All right, retreat the knight. Retreat the knight. We gotta. That's not the type of connect 4 we're going for. All right, whoa, 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 whoa. Is this like a Greek sacrifice?
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that.
So we're gonna lose it.
You're not really fun, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Actually, probably should bring this knight in so we can threaten the queen. All right. Move the knight, threaten the queen. Opponent's thinking.
Are you sure this is the right way?
Oh! That was a good pawn for us. Pins the knight as well. Classy maneuver. We're going to go forward, get rid of this knight, and then we can jump our... Never mind. We're just going to move on. All right, I'm expecting a rook lift. So maybe... What are they trying to do? The queen needs to get on the dark squares. All right. We don't want to attack the queen and give it a tempo. Let's move in so we can move the knight. I wonder... Oh. All right, let's attack the queen. Gotta be careful. Knight down, rook takes, then we have the check. But he's gonna take first. Ooh, could take with checkmate. Let's take the queen! We're in trouble here. Can we save this knight? Unlikely. Alright, so he's attacking the rook and the knight simultaneous. We gotta move. Let's push the pawn. Alright, we'll get behind the bishops here. Oh no, he can take. Ah. With check. No less. We're gonna try to get a rook. We're going to get a rook in front of the king. So we need help here. All right, maybe we can get another rook in. All right, let's hop out. Let's hop out of this pawn chain. Are we getting... Oh! No, there was no time! No! Wait, was that actually a good position? No, black was dominating. We didn't have it. We didn't have it. It's okay. It's okay. It was only a delusion. All right. Let's do. I think we get the win. I don't get how we're sliding here. We're sliding here. All right, let's get the win. Let's get the win. We got this. We got this one. 1d4. Go for a little Philidor defense, Black Lion. All right. Get the knight out, and we'll threaten to attack the center. Just as we said. We could take with the pawn, and then we'll have to defend the e-pawn the whole game. Let's do it. All right. Not sure the best way to defend that e-pawn. Takes with the knight. I take back. Then we lose the king. All right. Let's get the bishop developed. Restrict the knight from coming into the light squares. All right. Queen needs to be developed somewhere, somehow. And the bishop just the same. We're castling. We're castling. Can we get the castle? And opponent's thinking.
Bruh.
All right. Do we want to castle into this tomfoolery? That is the question. That is the question. We don't have to castle. We could. Let's threaten this weak pawn. We have a lot of pressure on this weak pawn. They're missing a defender. But do we have enough attackers? All right. This is dangerous. This is dangerous because we're going to open up the bishop. A calm retreat. Let's attack the queen. Let's. Ooh. Ooh. What a classy move. Gotta oh! It blundered!
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine, and you're not really.
I didn't even see it.
You can't get-
All right. Let's not mess this up. Taking this knight would be an example of doing so. Castle, keep everything safe. Trade everything off. Operation, trade them all. Well, I would like to get a checkmate. I don't think he wants to trade, so maybe we'll get the checkmate. How do we accomplish a checkmate? All right, we've weakened the king. Okay, and then we blundered. Ah, I see. I see. All right, we blundered. But maybe we'll get rid of their bishop, and even though our king is just as unsafe as their king, we have the queen. And we can look to lift the rook around. Okay, the opponent immediately stops that idea, but that's okay. We're just going to speed up here, 56 seconds. 50 seconds left on the clock. Oh, let's slide the king over and get the rook up this way. All right. Rook to h5 or h6. They're trying the shenanigans. All right, do we fall for the shenanigans? No, we don't. Let's not fall for these shenanigans. Everything's protected. We got to get a rook into the game. All right, we're going to open up the bishop, and we're going to checkmate. Ah, clever. But the knight is now pinned to the king, so they're probably going to defend with the rook. But we're coming for the king. And I wonder if there's some kind of tactic where we can take, and if they were to retake with the rook, we would attack. Okay, so let's remove the guard, but then it's going to get dicey. We could attack this way, and then they'll take 26 seconds. No time to deliberate. Let's go. All right, we get this square. Looking to trade. Comes with check. All right, how do we get in? How do we get in? Let's just threaten some pieces. We need to move the rook around. Move the rook around. King forward if they check us. And we're getting the king. Are we getting to the king?
Emergency.
13 to 18 seconds. Someone's going down here. All right, we're trading. We're trading. We got to get out. We got to get some room for the king. This is troublesome. All right. All right. Just avoid any knight forks. 2 seconds. There's a pre-move here. Oh. I don't see a check. We won on time! Let's go! Alright, man. These 800s were playing around today. They were not playing around. You got to give them credit. Got to give credit to our teammates. Sorry, got to give credit to our opponents. We didn't have any teammates. This is chess. But thanks to our opponents out there. 12 excellent moves. Opponent was only -2 for us. I think it'd be better. But alas, here we are. We were able to barely not lose on time, 0.9 seconds. So thanks everybody for coming out. Appreciate you. Hope you're able to make it to the next stream.